All right, there we go. I think we're live right now, guys. Congratulations. It is Friday. We made it to Friday. It's the 20th of March, and we're ready to get into Recon. I'm Denny Grimes, your coach. We've got some other coaches that are on the chat. Thanks so much for being here. I see you, Kelly. I know Louise won't be here. I don't know about Matt, and I know that Don's on vacation. So today, being Friday, is a couple things I want to tell you right up front. Free for all Friday. I just told the people that were here early, if you got a situation you want to role play, practice, or rehearse, put it in the chat. We'll cover it. Short of that, here is the conversation today. How many people have you've been through a final walkthrough and something wasn't right? How you handle your conversation is important. Remember, this is Recon Mastery. We're going to teach you the why and how to think and also what to say. This just happened to us this week. We're at the final walkthrough, and your buyer says, hey, the tree over there is dead, and it wasn't dead when we bought the house. That's the conversation. Now, again, that's what happened to us. I don't know what your contract says, but I want you to handle this. There's a proper way to handle this. And it might not be the tree. It may be there's a pet stain or there's a hole in the wall. Something's not right. How do you handle that? So, Kelly, you're in the control tower, it looks like today. And who's ready to go?
Let's see. I know Robert is always ready to go. So, Robert, are you ready? I'm the buyer, you're the agent.
Sure.
And Denny, if you'd move to your left just a tad, I can see that. We're at the final walkthrough, and the tree is dead. And it wasn't like that, Robert, when we bought the house.
I see Kelly. And so, um, what is our hope that we might be able to have done about that?
What do you think the sellers would put a new tree in before we close?
Um, yeah, we can certainly ask that question. A dead tree is a bit of an act of nature, so so I'm not sure that they will, but we can definitely ask that question. If they choose to say no, what will be our steps going forward from there?
Well, we're really excited about having our welcome party to the house, and that tree makes a big difference. What options do we have?
Well, I mean, our options are is that, I mean, we can ask and see if the seller will have it replaced. If the seller doesn't, then our options are is that we go ahead and continue to move forward. Let me ask you the question. I mean, do you still love the house?
Yeah, we have a contract on it. We're supposed to close on it in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, we bought the house, not per se the tree. So I mean, our options then is, I mean, we can go forward with
Time.
having you replace the tree.
Time. He's always the guinea pig. He always
Thanks,
goes
Robert.
first. Doesn't have a lot of time for any feedback. So he's just you know, he's running down the beach bare naked. So, all right. So,
Well, it's really hard because I mean, I don't know what your trees are like in Florida, but I mean, trees. We're in the Pacific Northwest. I mean, we're talking trees are like 100 feet high. I mean, and it's like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do about a 100 foot tall tree that's now suddenly dead.
I got it. However, there's probably, and I don't want to give away I don't want to give away the steps that I'd recommend yet. I know who's. I'm going to wait. There's probably a procedure you guys should follow. As
All
I
right.
said a minute ago, it might be a dead tree. It may be a crack in the the movers had basically cracked the tile when they were taking the appliances out, or could be a stain in the carpet. I mean, you guys have a procedure to walk through.
Right.
Right? Who's next, Kelly?
All right, next, let's go with Michelle Lewis. She looks like she's ready to go.
And I'll take the role play.
All right.
So, Michelle, uh, I am
Yeah.
I am shocked right now. I mean, when we bought the house, we fell in love with the house, as you know, and the beautiful landscaping. There's a palm tree that's missing. I walked over there and it's been cut off. Now, it wasn't like that when we bought the house.
Hmm. Yeah, Denny, that's interesting. And share with me, what are your thoughts that we should do? What are you thinking we should do about the tree?
Well, I mean, you're my agent, so what are you going to do for me? I mean, obviously, you didn't notice it when you drove up.
Uh, I did see that the tree looked a little different, Denny. And at the same time, I was just curious, what would your expectations be?
I expected on the final walkthrough the house to be like it was when I bought it. So
Mhm.
what are we going to do? What are you going to do for me about that?
Yes, Denny, I can bring that attention to the seller and see what they would be willing to do. And at the same time, considering that this is the final walkthrough, would this in fact change your thoughts about the home and the property?
Well, I have a question for you. Well, I haven't even walked inside yet, and I see it's not like it was when I bought it. So let's say when I walk inside and they don't have the refrigerator that they're supposed to leave, what's your answer going to be?
Well, that's interesting, Denny. You're right. We haven't walked inside, and we can't assume that the refrigerator is not there, right?
Well, let's just assume it's not.
Hmm. Let's assume that it's not. Let's do this. Let's walk the entire property, get a
Time.
list.
Hmm. Hey, listen, everyone's got different laws and customs, whatever. I don't know. Let me give you a little bit of the hint.
Okay.
You guys, when there appears to be a discrepancy in a walkthrough, you're showing up and something's not right. Let me ask you this. Has that ever happened to anyone on this call? I'm sure it has. Rule number one, step number one. What does your contract say? Now, Robert, no, I'm not picking on anybody. Michelle, you never referred to the contract.
Hmm.
Now, what's interesting, and we just had this at our sales meeting because this happened. This is a little bit of an outlier, but I've been through many walkthroughs that something has been amiss. When there is a disagreement or a parent disagreement, the first thing you should do is then go to what does the contract say? Fair enough?
Got it.
Now, if you don't know, is that a red flag for you?
Definitely. You
Okay,
should know the contract.
well, I tell you what, here's the interesting thing. We've kind of know it. We don't, but there's a lot of things in there that we don't know until we have the situation. What I want you to do is get ahead of some common, maybe potential problems. Okay, Kelly, who's next?
Up next, we have Everardo.
Okay, he's with you.
Yep. All right, Everardo. Man, the tree is dead, and it wasn't like that when we bought it. What can we
Yeah,
do?
Kelly. Yeah, Kelly. Yeah, no, I do notice it. This is a final walkthrough. We're gonna bring it up to attention to the seller. But on our contract, it's part of the, you know, trees and everything that is planted on the ground is part of the house. So absolutely. Let's finalize the walkthrough and then we can bring that up to the seller. Is that okay
Okay.
with you?
What happens if we walk inside and something else is not there?
We're absolutely. That's the reason we're doing the final walkthrough so we can notice what is not in there, and then we can go back to the contract and see if that is included, and we can bring that up to the attention.
Isn't it included in the contract though? Like, shouldn't this already be taken care
The
of?
the tree for sure. The tree for sure is included in the contract because it's part of the land. Um, Now, if you're talking about the refrigerator or microwave, it is included in the contract. We saw it that it was there, part of the appliances. Yes.
But I remember in the contract it said that stuff does convey, and everything was supposed to remain intact when before we went to closing, and we're closing in about 2 hours.
Correct. Correct. And the same thing, the final walkthrough, that's the reason we're doing this. So we can check it out and agree to everything.
All right. Where are you, Everardo? Where are you?
Los Angeles.
Where?
Los Angeles.
LA.
California. California.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So I don't know what the California contract is. And Kelly, I went to the refrigerator just to make a point, but I want us to stay on the tree.
Okay.
So I want you guys. Okay, so I've already given you step one. Go to the contract. So I don't know I'm just going to ask you in California, and then Susan in LA County, and where Susan is maybe the same. I don't know. If there's a dead tree, do you know? I don't care. I don't really need to know what your contract says. Do you know what your contract says about walking up and the landscaping is dead? The tree is dead. I'm not talking about a redwood tree, Robert. I'm talking about an 18-foot palm tree, 18-foot, orange tree or whatever. It's dead. Do you know what your contract says, guys? In Florida, maybe like this in your state, it makes sense. The seller has to maintain the property in the condition the buyer saw it and went under contract.
Minus normal wear and tear.
Who said that? Oh, Matt.
Me.
Okay, yeah. There's some, barring this a casual. There's some wording there. That's why step one is to look at the wording. Now, when you have a situation like this, you're going to look at the wording a lot more closely.
Mm-hmm.
So when there's a disagreement, this is, we can do it one more time. One of the first things I'm going to say is, man, I tell you what, I haven't run into that. I tell you what, let's look at the contract. Let's forget about the rest of the walkthrough right now. Mm-hmm. We're going to deal with the tree. Actually, what happened was, in this particular case, I'll give you the rest of the story, but it doesn't matter on how you have a conversation with the buyer. I'm just letting you know. The landscaper came by to tell the seller, hey, your palm has got a disease. It needs to come out.
Mm-hmm.
The seller was doing a favor for the buyer and cut it down. Yep. And now the buyer sees it, and there was like 3 trees in the front. Now there's 2. We're talking 20-foot palm tree. I'm more concerned with the procedure of how you have the conversation with the buyer, because there is a right way and probably not a right way to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
So I
don't know how much of that you've heard, Matt.
Yeah, Denny? Well, I heard the tail in there, but what I'd like to add really quickly, guys. In most states, the contract requires you to maintain the property in the condition in which they saw it minus normal wear and tear. There's also something called the as-is maintenance requirement. Any contract will have that in there. Just make sure you know what yours is. It's really simple. It's like 3 lines, and you'll know exactly how to handle these scenarios. Go ahead.
Yes. So the first couple, Matt, I mean, when you say, well, what do you want to do about it? What I want you to say is, okay, let's take a look at the contract. That takes you out, the opinion out. Now, it still may be a gray area, but always refer to the contract. That's step 1. We'll get to step 2 in a second. Who's next, Kelly?
Up next, we have Takesha Thompson.
Okay, Matt, why don't you role play with Takesha?
I got her.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, what the heck's going on with this tree in the front yard? Wasn't like that when we saw it. And
I know. Well, first of all, let's go ahead on and refer to the contract. As you know, in the contract, it says blah, blah, blah. So first step is going to be let's check with the seller and see what it is that's going on with this. Once we address that, then we can have a more detailed conversation. Is that all right with you?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's just one dead when we saw it. So just trying to, I mean, what do we do with it?
Well, after we speak with the seller, we'll definitely find out what our options are, and I'm quite sure they'll look like either.
I'm going to pause you just for a second.
Yes.
Having a conversation with the seller is not an option right now.
Okay.
Seller relevant.
Also, I'm probing you.
Now, step 1 is the contract.
Okay. I'm in Texas.
I want you guys to know this. Don't say, we'll talk to the other agent. No, Your strength, the legs you stand on, are the contract.
Okay,
All right,
let's do it.
keep going. What?
Okay. Well, the contract states that if it is that the tree is hazardous or it is causing harm to the house, that we can actually go back and either renegotiate a lower price, or we can see what we can do with this tree, whether you want it replaced or whether you just want it out. What would you like to do if those are our options?
Well,
In
frankly,
this
I don't really care about the tree.
The
Okay.
tree's
It-
gone. The tree
yeah.
is gone.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about it. It just was there, and now it's not. It's you know, I was buying the house, not the tree.
Right.
Do you think we could have them, you know, plant something there?
Well, it depends. Let's find out what happened with the tree on why it was taken down.
Time. I'll let Matt have. I already spoke, but I'm going to say, okay, there may be a reason why it was taken down, but most likely the contract didn't cover that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna work beyond what the contract says, and I'm going to give you what the next chapter of this book is going to be. Have you ever been in a situation where you might be right? The contract may give you the green light to say that that tree shouldn't have been, needs to be replaced. We're 2 hours before closing or 2 days before closing, and the seller says pound sand.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the conversation's going to go. Matt,
Mm.
any conversation on that, Matt?
Yeah, and on this, guys, yes, you want to know the contract without question, but then at the same time, the funny thing, I'm so radically detached in scenarios like this. Like I've had clients that'll say, well, the washer and dryer are gone," and that's happened. The washer
It
and
gets
dryer's
stolen.
gone, and it wasn't supposed to be. And I've said, well, what do you make of that? And then I just pull. I wanna know what their thoughts are. And I've had it before where I said, well, what do you make of that? And she said, well, they were supposed to be there, but frankly, we didn't like them at all. I said, oh, so did they do you a favor? And they said, kinda, yeah, because we were just going to replace them. And it was a nothing burger. This scenario may be different to that, but I always lead with curiosity. Say, well, we can absolutely check the contract, but before that, what do you make of that? What's that tree not being there mean to you?
So, all right, I think Ellie is next, right? Chapter 2. All right, your contract says that they have to leave it in the same condition.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you go next? There is a kind of a way you should handle this. And here's the thing that you've got to make sure you do. Matt just said, well, what do you think of that? He's taking a neutral position.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do that, but make sure you don't take a position that the buyer thinks you're more concerned about the seller than themselves, because now you're backpedaling.
Yeah, or don't. Oh God, I love that you said that, Denny. Don't take a side. Don't take the buyer side, which is your client. Don't take the seller side either. Because here's the thing: if it's not important to your client, see, I'm getting passionate now. I'm getting fired up. If it's not important to your client, you going, oh, I'll make sure they replace it. Oh my, we'll make it right. You're not winning anything there because it's not important to them. And if you say, well, the seller, they technically don't have to do this, and you start speaking about the seller, you just lost all rapport and trust with your client. So do not take any side in this. There's no winner.
So I do
Ellie,
have a situation where I actually about to close,
hang
and
on, Susan. Hang on to that. We'll get to that in a second. Ellie and Kelly.
So Kelly, I understand you, and it must be frustrating to, to find something. But as you know, in the contract, it says to keep this, as is. And tell me, what is this tree so important to you?
Did he say it was important?
You mean
Yeah.
what do I think about it?
Okay, what do you think about it?
There you go.
Well, the tree. We're not going to live. We're not living in the tree. We're living in the house. But our contract, if I recall, says that there needs to be, the landscaping needed to be taken care of.
Okay. That's true. That's the contract. This is what he says. Other than the tree, is something else that bothers you right now? And because we just have to, you have 2 hours before closing. Is there anything else that you want to address?
Well, what should we do with this landscaping issue?
That's a great question, Kelly. With it's going to be addressing somehow. But what do you think you
You
need
can't
to
go
do?
there. You
Okay.
can't go there. Let me just stop you. What
Okay.
are your options?
Uh,
We're not at role play right now. What are the options? What are the options? Close, regardless. Don't close. Split the tree, or the seller replaces it.
Ready? Or yeah,
Right?
ready or
Step
something.
two. Step two. You've got 30 seconds. Step two
Or
is,
okay.
hang on. Step two, if there's an issue somewhere in the transaction in the pipeline, stain on the carpet, washer and dryer missing, other than finding out if it's important to them, step two is quantify it. All right, so the tree's $500. The washer and dryer, that's $800. All right, because there's a chance, even though the contract says the seller has to leave it, the seller's taking it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an $800 decision. What do you want to do? Does that make sense? 30
Yeah.
seconds,
So
Ellie. Go down that road.
okay. So Kelly, from what we see here, you have three options. One will be, not to close. The second one will be to kind of address it and ask for a credit, or to replace the tree if that's something that you will love to go that way. So what would you be your option?
Wait a minute.
Your
Wait a
choice.
minute. What did I ask you to do? You're giving them options with no dollar sign on it. I want you to, and in my opinion, Matt, you can pipe in, put a dollar figure on it because it minimizes
Okay.
almost anything you'd be worried about.
So
Yes, but for sometimes you need an expert for this, so that's why I didn't give
no, no, no,
that.
no,
But
no, no,
so
no, 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 no,
okay,
no, 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 no. All right, like let me unscrew this.
okay,
It does not matter what things cost, guys. I've closed on houses where the pool, when they saw it, was beautiful blue. You wanted to jump in and spend your day at a barbecue there. And when we closed on it, it looked like a swamp. And that was my seller. Here's how I handle that. Even on my side, what is that? What is that cost to you? What is
okay,
that
gotcha.
number to you? What is that worth to you? I'm asking my client, I'm asking the other agent, I'm asking whomever, what is it worth to you? We don't need to get into this. Well, let's get a quote and let's do. No, no, no. We're resolving
Okay,
this right now. It's the day of closing. What is it worth to you? That's
okay,
it.
Kelly. So what is it worth to you?
Hang on. No more role play. And the second part of that,
Okay,
Matt, is
Then
the
you go
second.
back, you go to the other party.
Well, hang on. Even in the conversation, the second part is, okay, what is it worth to you? Well, I don't know. It's probably going to be $1,000 to fix. Okay. Is it going to keep you from owning the home?
Right. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Without question. Yeah. So if it's worth $1,000, it's worth $1,000 to me. Great. Now, if how would you like that addressed? I figure out how would you like that addressed, and would you still like to close? Whatever the scenario is, would you still like to move forward to closing? Great. Now, would you like to? And we're going a little too far into one specific scenario here, but if we can get a credit for $1,000 from the seller, would that appease you? Would you be okay with that? Or would you like them to replace it? Because guys, I don't like getting the seller to replace, or the listing agent or the buyer's agent. I don't want them to replace anything. I don't want them to touch anything, frankly. Give us some money. Let us go on with our lives. That's just me.
No, if the seller's going to replace the tree, it'll be that big.
Right. Yeah. We don't want, we saw how well they did painting the house in the first place. Do we really want them to do anything else?
Jose, you're up.
All right, Jose, let's go, man. Tell me how we're going to fix this tree issue. It wasn't like it when we bought the house.
I agree with you. We're going to take a look at the contract and see our options. But before we do that, how would you like to handle, Kelly?
Well, what are my options? Can you clarify that?
Yes, the contract says that the property should be in same condition as when we submitted our contract, when we ratified our contract. How do you feel about the
Um,
tree being dead?
I don't really care about the tree being dead, but I know, explain to me some more options from the contract. What does that look like?
Well, it says it's got to be in similar condition. I know now that you
Jose,
don't,
I'm just going to speak like direct here, but what does that mean? What
the
can I
tree
do
should,
with that?
the tree should be there. What would you like to do with it now that we know it's not there and what the contract says? What is the,
Well, are you suggesting we don't close?
that's one option. What is the tree worth to you, Kelly?
Um, like I said, it doesn't really mean a hill of beans to me, the tree, but there's a principle that if the contract says it's supposed to be there or maintained, it should be there.
Correct. It is not there. The options are we don't close, we move forward. What
Well,
would you like to do?
theoretically, I'm going to call time. We're getting close to the top of the hour. And Matt, there was not going to be an overtime today because we have mastery at 1 o'clock,
Okay.
which I have behind me. If you want to break it down, there are only two options. I mean, you close or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
So the bottom line is, what do you? Those are the two options. Now, again, short of that, are you willing to walk away from the home because of the tree? And the way I'm going to do it, my dad was a landscaper, and even if they're not, let's say it's $1,000, are you going to walk away?
Yeah. Yep.
Now, that's not taking sides, is it,
Well,
Matt?
no, I would ask in that case, Jose, and it's interesting. While this wouldn't be my first choice for a scenario today, it's interesting because we're all stumbling with it to some degree because we've all been there, and it's like, well, what do you do in this scenario with Kelly? I would have asked him, well, Kelly, you're right, it's not there, and there is a principle that we want it there. My question to you would be, do you feel strongly enough about that tree not being there that you don't want to close today? And he's going to answer me, well, no, I don't. Or, no, not really. Okay. Now, what would have to happen to make that right in your mind? What would have to happen to make that right? Oh, could we do this or that? I don't care what he says. I'll say, we'll find out. Let's find out. But just so I understand, you want to close. Yes, I do want to close. Okay, great. Let's go finish the walkthrough. I'm going to find out about that.
Susan, we're going to get you, we'll get your question and your comment here in a second. So I'm going to say the bottom line is what I'm working through here is that we had a buyer in this situation that is demanding the tree be replaced. Now the buyer's not on our side. And so if you have a buyer demanding that, even if they're right by contract, the bottom line is you can't force the seller to put the tree in. And the last thing I want to see happen is you buy a tree.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to want the house more than you want the closing.
Yep.
So, all right, Matt, I'm going to come back to you to put a bow in this, and we'll go to Susan.
No,
Hang on. You come back to me. The agent says the seller's not doing squat. Now I'm the buyer. How do you approach me on that?
Okay. So I would say, well, Denny, I spoke with the listing agent, and they told me that the seller's doesn't want to do anything about the tree. What would you like to do at this point?
Well, that tree's $1,000. So
Okay.
I feel like I'm being shortchanged.
So would you'd like $1,000 in consideration for the tree?
Yeah, you just told me the seller wouldn't do that.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't seem that they're in that position. So if we could find a way to squeak out $1,000, would you feel comfortable moving forward?
Now I'm interested to see where this is going. What are you talking about, Willis?
Well, the seller said they're not willing to do anything. We do have a contract that is enforceable until we close, because closing cures all defects. Can I make a phone call to the listing side and I'll get right back to you on that?
So I speed it up. What are you doing?
So out of role play, I'm going to call listing agent and say, hey, he wants $1,000 for the tree, otherwise he's not closing.
All right.
And I'm going to say, Mr. Listing Agent, you owe me $1,000. Or I wouldn't want to split the cost because it's not my problem, but I would get it from the listing side.
We're going to have Susan and go ahead. We'll go ahead and stay in overtime here a little bit because I want us to finish this. So Susan, hang on. Sherry, you can cut the recording. We'll see you at 1 o'clock, you guys.